Welcome. Let's get into a technical analysis of Bitcoin, S&P 500, dollar currency index, euro against the US dollar, and gold. I'll start with Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and we do have a major trend bias shift here. So let's talk about it. It's currently Monday, January 23rd, around 8:12 p.m. my time, and let's get into Bitcoin. So daily time frame. What have I been talking about for the last year? Well, I've been talking about shorting all of the pullbacks, trying to get in at discounted prices and look for continuation moves to the downside. And then in the most recent videos, I also talked about what would shift my trend direction bias. And that was looking for this to be broken. So this peak right here, structure being broken here, and also price trading over the 200 EMA, which now we do have those ingredients in place. So here I am switching my trend direction bias to a long only mode. Now let's talk about what to look for next to actually be joining in and getting into this uptrend, looking for continuations to the upside, and also what would invalidate what I'm talking about as far as the trend bias shift. So first, how do we get into this uptrend? Well, right now it's way too extended in my opinion, and I'd be looking for this to consolidate and pull back to give me a discounted entry. Ideally, it pulls back into the rejection zone indicator, this green cloud, which is made up of the 20 period and 50 period exponential moving averages, and over the 200 EMA consolidating out. So if I can get in a consolidation at a discounted price, then I'll be looking for this to head to the upside. And what would actually change my bias with this now shifting into an uptrend and long only mode? Well, if this broke straight under both the rejection zone indicator and the 200 EMA and then consolidated, that would change my bias, and then I'd be looking for the downtrend to continue once again. But as things sit right now, I'm looking for that consolidation, a bullish consolidation, and trying to get into this uptrend at a discounted price if it does present itself. So that is going to be the analysis for Bitcoin. Still looking for further prices to move to the upside, and that's going to be my outlook unless we see this happen where it breaks under the rejection zone indicator and the 200 EMA. So bullish now on Bitcoin. So let's move on to the S&P 500, where we don't have that same thing happening. We still have this downtrend intact, and we still have price under the 200 EMA. Really what I'd need to see is two things. First of all, we're going to need to see a significant push over the 200 EMA and then a consolidation. That's going to be kind of the go signal to look for this to head to the upside, but we just don't quite have that yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but right now it's still a better shorting opportunity. So there's the way that it's come under the 200 EMA again. It's more characteristic of what it did over here, where it shortly came up over the 200 EMA, popped right back under, gave us a pullback, and then continued to the downside. So once again, came up over the 200 EMA, popped straight back under, pulling back, and then I'm looking for this to continue to the downside, eventually taking out the lows here. And again, this is what will shift my trend bias here. I'd also like to see this high taken out, so the overall downtrend being broken. This is the kind of the major high to be taken out here to really shift the trend to the upside. And also, coming over the 200 EMA and consolidating out, that would be a good sign that this is going to be shifting into a longer term uptrend, but we just don't have the ingredients yet. So I'm still looking at this as a downtrend and still looking at this to, most likely head to the downside out of here, first taking out the lows here, and then eventually taking out the lows down here. All right, so that's what my opinion is going to be here for S&P 500 still, and I talked about what would shift my trend bias there. So let's move on to dollar currency index, where we've been talking about the trend shift here and getting in at a discount on this pullback to look for continuation to the downside, which we already got. That ship has already sailed. So what's going to be next? Well, right now it's too extended. Going to need to see this pull back, and I think that's pretty likely. We're kind of getting a double peak down here with the stochastic RSI in the oversold territory. So I think with how extended this is to the downside, a pullback would be pretty normal at this point, although things can stay extended for a very long time. So I'm not saying it has to pull back. It could just continue down and not give us any sort of opportunity, but if this pulls back again, then I'd be looking for that to head to the downside again. So the way it stands now under the 200 EMA, I'm looking to short pullbacks and expect continuations to the downside. So that's going to be the outlook here for dollar currency index. Again, what would change that is we flip things, come way over the 200 EMA, break structure in multiple ways, and then consolidate out over the 200 EMA. Then I'd look for that continuation to the upside. But right now, the way it sits, more bearish, looking for this to head to the downside. Let's look at euro against the US dollar, where this one, again, we had this pullback, talked about it, expected that one to head to the upside, and that's already set sail. That one's done. So what's to do next? Well, this, again, just like dollar currency index, Bitcoin, too extended. We need to see this pull back before there's any sort of discounted entry to actually get in and expect continuation. Ideally setting a higher low compared to this previous higher low in this uptrend, and then looking for that to the upside. So if we get that reset on stochastic RSI, with this coming down, we can, get in at a discounted price and expect that continuation move to the upside, as long as this thing holds over the 200 EMA, ideally holding rejection zone indicator at the 50 EMA. But that's what I'll be expecting. I'll be expecting that this does continue to the upside, unless we get a nice, really strong move to the upside on dollar currency index. I still see this continuing to the upside. All right. So let's head on to our next pair, gold. And this one has just been really bullish. So what I talked about a couple of videos ago, this consolidation over the 200 EMA, expecting that we're going to have strength to the upside out of here. And that's exactly what we got. So at this very moment, though, things are just too extended, just like all the other pairs. Things are very extended. So looking for a pullback once again seems to be the theme of this video, is expecting and looking for pullbacks to get into these trends at discounts, and it doesn't mean that we have to get a nice pullback that's going to be so nice as to let us into this uptrend, but that's what I'll be waiting for and looking for. If it presents that opportunity, then that's great. If it doesn't, then so be it. But I'll be looking for this to pull back, give a nice discounted entry, and then I will be expecting that this continues to the upside, eventually taking out the highs over here. So expecting that this will be going in, however this correction forms, or if it even forms, I will be expecting that this heads to the upside, eventually taking out the high over here. All right. So that's what I'll be expecting in the future. However this plays out, hopefully it does give a nice opportunity for continuation and getting in at a discounted price to look for that continuation move. All right. So that's going to conclude it for this market analysis, kind of technical analysis video. Looking for continuation moves as always. So let's see what happens in the coming weeks, and I'll update it again in the near future. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.